Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. How are you?
Sam Healey.
We're doing a series of videos for Christmas 2015. These are games that you can buy for people or buy them for yourself, I guess. They are games that are either in print or they're going to be available in a week or two, so you'll be able to get them. You can find most of them at CoolStuffInc.com, our sponsor. We have today a list of party games. Now, for party games, we kind of stretch the definition of that a bit. These are games you can play at a party setting.
Right.
They're very light and easy. You know, these are at when you're having your Christmas party, you're like, hey, and you can probably bring one of these out and play it. Mm-hmm. They're easy to teach. They're quick to learn.
Very casual games is the idea.
Well, let's just start talking about them and you'll see what we mean.
All right, my number one, the first one on our list, that is a game that I have played with my youth group many, many times, and they've enjoyed it very much every single time, and that is called The Resistance. It is a party-ish type game. It's probably not as goofy as some party games might be, but it is basically where there are unknown people on certain teams. Everybody who is on the spy team, the people who are from the big government that are trying to infiltrate the resistance movement, they know who they are, but the resistance players don't know who they are, and they also don't know exactly who each other are. And we're trying to stop the government spies from defeating our missions as we go around the table. It's a very cool game. It's a deduction game, but it's also a social game at the same time. That's The Resistance.
For something considerably goofier, Wink is my first choice here. And Wink is a game in which you are going to be playing in a large group. I prefer it actually with 6, 7, 8 players. And in it you are simply on your turn putting a pawn on a numbered card out there on the table, and players have distributed among them a matching set of cards to the ones that are laid out. And quite simply, what you need to do is by the time it is your turn again, you need to know who has the card that you have marked with your pawn. How do they tell you? You might have figured that part out. They wink at you, but they can't just openly wink at you. They need to wink at you and not be caught by any of the other players. And therein lies the tension and the fun and the laughter in the game. And in fact, if you do catch someone, you can accuse them, throw a card down, and then steal those points they would have gotten right from under them. The game is extremely silly, but it's a great party game because I literally just told you everything about the game, and it creates a great tension where everyone is spending the whole time looking around when it's not their turn, trying to catch other people winking. Love it. It's gone over really well. That is Wink.
All right. Mafia de Cuba is a game in which it's basically the box looks like a cigar box. And inside this fake cigar box, there are some diamonds and some poker chips. And one person is designated to be the Godfather, and he passes this box around. Each person takes something out. If they take out some of the diamonds, they're stealing from the Godfather. If they take out a poker chip, they're going to be a role. Maybe they're an FBI agent, maybe they're a loyal henchman to the Godfather, something else. There's different roles in the game. After everyone has done this, the Godfather is going to try to pick who stole diamonds from him. And everybody will say, well, when I had the box, all the diamonds were still there. Or whatever, you can lie, and the Godfather is going to try to pick people. And there's just a lot of yelling going around and people trying to convince the Godfather that they are indeed a loyal henchman. Very entertaining. There's a lot of replayability. There's a small expansion that adds even more roles. But the base game itself is fun. Mafia de Cuba.
Good Cop, Bad Cop also has that same idea with it, where you don't know exactly who everybody is, and you're trying to figure that out throughout the course of the game so that you don't accidentally kill the good cop. You want to turn your attention on the gangsters and the mobsters and the bad cops that are out there. And so you're trying to delineate who everybody is throughout the course of the game, and it's a very quick game, actually. It doesn't play very long at all. It's up, I think, I would probably say max 30 minutes. It is a very simple party atmosphere type game where you are trying to deduce who is on which side and then go and attack the other side. So that's Good Cop, Bad Cop.
Spit It Out is a game in which you are not doing that. You are giving answers to questions quickly as you can, and the questions are really exceedingly obvious questions. So, for example, Tom, what color is the sky?
Blue.
That's correct, it is blue. However, in this game, you have a very limited amount of time, and in it, you must give specifically wrong answers, which is where the trick in the game comes, because your brain locks up because you want to say the right answer. And so the answer must still be in the spirit of the question. And so if I tell Tom, what is a fork used for?
To wash clothing.
There you go. It took him a little bit because you want to say eating, to eat. But you must not say that. That is the game. It's very silly. It's going to give you a good amount of laughter. I've enjoyed it quite a bit, and it goes over well with just about everybody because it is so light and quick and goofy. That is Spit It Out from R&R Games.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy that one. Codenames was a very popular game that's come out this year. It takes the concept of password and elevates it where there's a bunch of words in the middle of the table, and you have a partner or a team, and you are giving clues, and they are trying to guess which words. But what you're trying to do to be efficient in this game is you're trying to get them to guess specific words, and you can give a clue that matches multiple words. So I can say, they're one-word clues, so I might say fish, 2. That means there's 2 words out there that match fish. But you don't want to turn cards over that match other players, and there's also one card that if you pick it, your team automatically loses. So there's always this deadly sense, and you're trying to give clues that put 2 words together or 3 words together that people wouldn't imagine. Very popular, very easy. If you like that kind of thinkiness that Password has and trying to get other people to guess stuff, you'll really enjoy Codenames.
Cool. Cash and Guns has been a game that I have enjoyed for a long time, and it now has a second edition that I actually enjoy better than the first edition. And Cash and Guns is basically a game where each person takes on the persona of a gangster around a table of loot, and you are trying to bluff people away from the table so that you can split up that loot with as few people as possible. And the way you bluff people is by pointing little foam guns at each other and choosing either a bang card where you are actually shooting the person, or a click card where you're actually bluffing and you're not going to shoot them, but you're trying to get them to think that you're going to shoot them because you want them to back out so that there's more loot for you at the table. So it seems on the surface a very sinister product where you're pointing guns at people, but it is actually a very fun, lighthearted game that you will have a lot of fun at if you give it a whirl. So that's Cash and Guns 2.0.
This next one is for the Pictionary lover in your family or in your group, and they are over the drawing part of Pictionary, let's say. Well, this game's called Concept, and it is a very similar idea to Pictionary, but you are not drawing the idea. You are actually picking concepts on this big, very interesting board with little cubes. And so you want to get the concept of ice across. Well, you could pick water, you could pick cold, and people will just shout out guesses until someone gets it. They get some points, you get some points, and then the next person will come up with a concept that they draw from a deck, they look at a card, and they attempt to get everyone to guess this idea. It's very entertaining. It's a great party game. You can play in groups, so you can have 2 people together giving clues, which is beneficial if you're having a hard time sort of coming up with a concept. And it's gone over really well for me. Check it out if you want something like Pictionary, but you don't want to, base it on artistic skill or something like that. You just want to look at these ideas and try to guess what it is. That is Concept.
This game is more of a dexterity type game, and that's tumbling dice. Tumbling dice, you set up this contraption where you're rolling dice, and those dice are going to score you the number they roll, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Well, it's more than that. There's different levels, and the farther down, if it's times 4, times 3, times 2, times 1. So if I can get 6 on the times 4, it's 24 points. But I can knock other people's dice off, and keeping the dice on the bottom is very difficult to do. You're rolling these dice down and hoping they land down there in a high number, but usually just hoping they land there at all. You can knock your own dice maybe into a better spot. It's a very simple concept. Throw dice down and see where they land, but there is some skill in how you throw them, and then combine that with the luck on how they roll, and it's a game that I've just found always works in many situations. And it's only, I think, 4 players out of the box, but all you have to do is find some dice of different colors, and you can add as many players as you want. That's tumbling dice.
Well, do you like lying to your fellow players?
No.
Never.
Z loves it, and he's good at this game because basically you're trying to smuggle goods into the province of Nottingham or the city of Nottingham, and the sheriff of Nottingham is trying to stop you from taking illegal goods and putting them into the city. Each person will take on the role of the sheriff throughout the course of the game, but the fun part is just that, trying to get your bad goods past the sheriff, lying to him face to face. It's really cool. You don't have to use those contraband items, but it's always a lot more fun if you do, because there's that time where they say they believed you, they bought it, and then you turn over like 6 or 5 contraband goods, and they're like, next time. But Sheriff of Nottingham is one of those really fun game, very lighthearted fun. Go check it out.
All right, my next pick is also a dexterity game like Tom's Choice, but this one is even sillier and I think goes over really well with kids as well. You play kids and parents together. That's a good idea. The game's called Lift It, and in it you are basically wearing a crane, a plastic crane on your head that is strapped to your forehead. It has a little crane hanging from it, a hook, and you are, together with other players, you are hooking pieces of plastic that have a bunch of holes in them so that you can actually go through the loops and grab them. You are picking them up. Again, this is hanging from your forehead and placing them somewhere. The game is silly to play. It's beyond silly to watch even. And that's basically it. You are going to have moments where you just start laughing and everything starts falling apart on you. You are going to get a kick out of watching kids trying to play it. And hey, they might even beat you at the game.
They will.
So check this one out if you want something that is about dexterity but very, very silly. That is Lift It.
Duplicate, which is a reprint of a game called Portrayal, is a game in which one person has this really weird picture that they look at in the box. Weird, strange things, and they describe it to the other players. And the other players draw it from your description. Now, you don't need to be, Raphael or a famous artist to draw this. You just draw what they tell you. Stick figures will work. And then, after the person's done, they look at some secret things that say, okay, this person should have 4 fingers on their hand. And if you drew that in your picture, you get a point. And the person who's telling you things will get a point if anybody got it correct. But they don't know what these things that they have to get other people to guess are. And so they're sitting there going, okay, yeah, you need to draw a guy. And they might forget to tell you how many fingers he has or whatever. So they're trying to be as specific as possible. And it's funny just to look at everyone's pictures because everyone's drawing the same thing and it looks ridiculous. But there's actually a game there where the person who's explaining it is trying to tell you exactly what's in the picture. It's a lot of fun. The pictures are super strange, and that's Duplicate. I really think that if I was going to party and I saw these were the 12 games there, I knew I'd have a good time playing them.
Absolutely. There is something that you'll be able to have fun with.
Right.
So check them out. Like we said, these are easily available. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. Thank you, folks.
And I'm Sam Healey. See you on the flip side.
Watch all our Christmas videos.